I got little this morning, honey,
we got together a couple times.
I was like, this is not what I heard.
No, we got to go together a couple times. It was, and I got some help from you, of course, but we was going back for like 2 or 3 hours, just analyzing the script line by line to really understand each other's point of view. And it just opened up a whole nother world of like figuring out the environment and then figuring out what's the relationship, what happened, and then what's going on in the entire story. So that was really,
it was fun because like Trey had messaged you, and while we're working together, we're waiting for you to respond, and then you finally do respond, and we're like, "Yo, we got kind of close." Like,
So when you said, we got really we got close. Like it was like there's a point, there's an objective change, and I was like, we said this before. We said this before you said it, so we're taking a little bit of credit. We're definitely taking a little bit of credit.
Absolutely. That's what my biggest hope is that you learn to do it on your own. I mean, that's what you're going to have to do. Unfortunately, I can't be with every single one of you on set. Hopefully I'll be there with you in spirit and you'll be saying, Winnie said to think this, So.
There's a new task force. I'm in charge.
Great for you. Great for you, Lieutenant. Hey, say, did that promotion come from merit or did it come with the pigmentation?
You know, I think unlike some others, I just lacked a big fucking mouth. And hell, with affirmative action, you could have been my boss by now.
Yeah.
Careful, Spencer, that you can't both be mad. You're flying high. You already know what you have to offer him. You already know that you've been promoted and you are going to be in charge of this thing that he's going to want to work on, right?
Right.
You can see he's been drinking, but you got a surprise for him. And he's giving you a hard time. He's yanking your chain. Yeah, he is. But I don't think you need to get mad.
Okay.
I walked in maybe at the wrong moment because you've already had a few too many and you're getting pissed off at me and all that kind of stuff. But you understand what I mean is if you're both mad, there's no scene.
Yeah, because then there's really no conflict. We're just both angry.
Yeah, and he kind of feels like you're laughing at him or something, because you're happy. But he doesn't know what you know. And cat that ate the canary thing going on of I know something you don't know. That you're the little carrot that you're trying to dangle, and you could have just walked in the door, and you could have just said, "Hey, you want to be a detective again? Let's do it."
Yeah, I'm not taking it quite as personally as he's taking it.
Exactly. Well, right off the bat, Trey, you need to really think about what do you mean by just visiting all the places where I'm not wanted.
I work for the police department, and I was demoted from as a detective, but we're still in the same department, but I just work in a different area now, and I work behind the desk, but I'm not wanted there, and I don't want to be there. At home, I'm having trouble with my wife. She's a writer now, and I'm not wanted there because all we do is fight now. So now I'm here at the bar, and I just feel like nowhere I go, I'm not wanted. It's been 9 years, and now that you're here, I feel like I'm still not wanted. It's been 9 years.
And talk about him. Just making my rounds because I did it this morning. I did it this afternoon, and now I'm here with you, and you don't want me. Go ahead, admit it. You don't want me. Nobody wants me. I'm not wanted by anybody. You're in a boo-hoo, poor me mode, right?
Yeah.
Purple Haze. How you been, killer?
Just making my rounds of places I'm not wanted.
You served?
Every day of my life.
What war?
Motherfucker. Give me 2 fingers of Southern comfort.
He's a lieutenant.
Here, so remember you're in a good mood, Spencer. Every day of my life, I served the United States of America as a police officer. You know what I'm saying? Is you get to be proud, right? Until he's questioning you, and then then you can tell it. Just give me what I told you to give me, right?
Yeah.
So that was real. That was a much better, Trey, when you said about where I'm not wanted. But keep those thoughts going. Don't stop them as soon as you're done with your line.
Okay.
Because so you say, where I'm not wanted by you. Just what I needed tonight with somebody else who doesn't want me. Just keep thinking.
Okay.
And when he starts with with the, you know, that he served and all that. And just, you know, you're friends with this bartender, right? You know him. Like, he's a lieutenant on, like, that's what he is. And then why don't you just tell him the truth that you didn't do shit in the war, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Purple Haze. How you been, killer?
Just making my rounds of places I'm not wanted.
Double so cold.
You served?
Every day of my life.
It felt good. I think especially what you just said, like, let it keep running and let the ideas kind of run with whatever he's saying. So I'm thinking what he's saying is like, especially when he's having that banter with the bartender, I'm just like, this guy, this piece of shit. Like, what are you doing here? Like, why?
Remember what I always say, you never stop thinking the thoughts of your character, ever. And what is your character thinking about?
My character is just trying to be before he walks in. I'm just in the bar trying to avoid home as much as possible and just trying to have a peaceful day, before I go home. And then he walks in. First time I'm seeing him in 9 years. I'm like, why? What could you possibly?
Yeah, just another way to make. I was feeling like I belonged here for a second.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden I don't belong here because he's here.
Because you're in here now. Yeah.
Now I got to not feel welcome here.
I'm better than everybody. I feel like I'm the best detective.
Yeah. You're not allowed to do anything.
Nope.
You got to sit at the desk and do nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and you're being punished. You're like at school with where you have to sit in the corner, time out, and have a dunce cap on or something. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're 9 years of being punished. That can make you a little bit irritable.
I'm bitter.
Right.
Yeah.
You're kind of pissed off. You know, he's part of it.
Yeah.
They love him over there.
Because he knows how to play the game, and I don't.
He knows how to play the game, and he just keeps higher and higher. You know, you can't stop that rocket. Once you say something, you keep saying it until he makes you think something else.
So just basically like keep letting that thought run until something triggers for me to think something differently from what he just said.
I mean, you have to kind of riff on the theme, right?
Yeah.
Like you're saying, and you know, I'm just making my rounds of places I'm not wanted. You know, and then you can even go through the places I wasn't wanted at home, not wanted at work, and now I'm not wanted in my own bar. As soon as he starts talking, that makes you start thinking something else. You start talking back to him in your mind until you speak again. You're either talking in your mind or you're talking with your mouth. You never stop. So Spencer, when you say about how do you feel about being a detective again, that's the big carrot. Like
me steering, you can leave that desk job finally.
Yeah. You know, how'd you like to be a detective? I bet you would. I bet you would. This will get you in a better mood. So you're tickling him a little bit, right?
Yeah. I'm trying not to get too engaged in his anger and trying to stay, you know, above it.
Well, you're trying to actually cheer him up. The bottom line is you are pretty guilty of ignoring him for 9 years, aren't you?
Yeah, we both are.
And now you want him to be your partner again, right? Only you get to be the boss, but still.
I got to sweeten him up a little bit and try to sweet talk him. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because you were kind of crappy, weren't you? That you didn't call him or you didn't do anything. But you know, that was probably a career move, not to talk to him too much.
I was probably told not to talk to him by my.
Yeah. Now, if he was really your friend, which he was really your friend, right? So you would have contacted him, but instead you ignored your very best friend for 9 years. And you're coming in there acting like everything's just fine, and you're calling him killer, and you know, and in trying to weasel your way back into his life, right? So that's why I mean you need to tickle him as much as you possibly can. Right?
Yeah, I got to undo 9 years of ignoring him.
Exactly. Good. So you guys both have something to work on, right?
Got it.
Yeah, just
I want to get
I'm gonna keep
Yeah, go
working
ahead.
on my thoughts. I'm gonna keep working on my thoughts rolling while the scene is going, and
Yeah.
everything that's being said will trigger a new thought for me to think about before I say something, and that's just something I have to work.
Excellent.
I got little this morning.
Purple Haze. How you been, killer?
Just making my rounds of places I'm not wanted.
Double SoCo.
You served?
Every day of my life.
Which one?
Motherfucker. Give me 2 fingers of Southern Comfort.
He's a lieutenant with the state police. You could have just told him that you fix Jeeps while the rest of us were getting shot at.
I could have slapped my dick on the bar, too.
It's 9 years. 9 years and you're still talking about your dick, huh?
Well, I don't mean to. It just keeps coming up. There's a new task force. I'm in charge.
Great for you. Hey, great for you, Lieutenant. I mean, say, did that promotion come from merit or did it come with the pigmentation?
Well, I think that unlike some others, I just lacked a big fucking mouth. And hell, with affirmative action, you could have been my boss by now.
Yeah. I guess if I was lucky enough to get shot, I'd be playing golf most of my days. And calling up old buddies like I'm doing them some type of favor.
I guess you had a few before I got here.
Could have just been avoiding home. You know, I was going to continue doing some race bit.
You know, you've never been very funny. How do you feel about maybe being a detective again? Because you were okay at.
The Purcell case.
State's reopening it, and they want me to steer.
Look at you. I mean, look at you. You can't stop this rocket, huh?
You want to get back to work or not?
I'm sorry about the pigmentation line.
No, you're not.
I'm half sorry.
Sorry enough.
It's gonna have to do, right?
Guess so.
I got little this morning. Are you ready to be?